Dads, boobies, and boobs.
Wow.
We see them every day, but what do these words have in common? No one wants to say them in the same sentence, but it's not only that. You can also spell them on a calculator. Tally-ho, mate. Let's run the numbers. I'm Terry Elffox at Fudgebox Media. Welcome to another Cold Cut Review. Today we'll be punching the digits on calculators and seeing what shakes loose. I should mention before we go any further, I've had a bit of a problem in my larynx, so I've been gone quite a while. I've been in the middle of a 9-surgery process, and it's taking bloody ages to get these videos done. The doctors are reconstructing my larynx from scratch, but enough about me. Let's get into it. Subtract a few years to when old Terry Elffox was just a lad. You may need a pencil and some scratch paper. I was failing out of maths, but not for lack of trying. I was working my bloody tits to scabs with no results. My report card was like a musical scale, if it was all D's and F's. One day, a classmate spoke into my ear.
Have you ever tried a calculator, mate?
But because my infernal parents wouldn't allow any devices made by the devil, I retorted a breathy, "No," afraid someone may be listening, be it the teacher or the almighty Jesus, Lord of numbers. Out of fear of flunking, I decided to sin before the eyes of God and fiddle with the devil's plaything. It got me the grade, but at what cost? 200 quid and an eternity burning in hell. You do the maths on that one, mate. Let me ask you this. If God meant us to do good, why would he put the option to sin right on the device? This is why I don't believe in God. But let's take a step back, just like Paul did with the Corinthians. Every day around the globe, people using calculators still get math questions wrong. Is it their fault? Or is it someone or something else's fault? Politicians, lizards, wizards, or perhaps all of the above? Or is it simply that this humble machine is defective and useless? A common calculator is comprised of a little screen and many plastic nubs. These nubs are connected to a mainframe through a series of tiny ropes. It's not unlike a grand piano, though there's nothing grand about this Texan instrument. Finding the so-called answers to life's biggest questions? That should be a task for the wise men. Instead, we leave them in the hands of machines. Machines that we hold in our hands. Makes you think, doesn't it? But that's not all. If calculators are so smart, why can't they provide answers to the world's most hard-hitting questions? Addition, subtraction, division, the cornerstones of modern prejudice. Where do the variables of right and wrong fit into this fat-ass equation? Let's spread the cheeks and take a peep. Interestingly, though you can dial any phone number in the world on a calculator free of charge, suspiciously, no one will ever answer.
Hello?
But who is on the line of these ill-fated calls? Begs the question, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to count it, is it still tallied in the grand sum of fallen trees? How many trees does a tallyman tally if the lumberjack can't see trees? Does one really need to know the maths well to chop wood well? They say Paul Bunyan was dumb as an ox and couldn't count a pot of piss. Hey Paul, how many trees you chop? 4 or 7 and 14 more from this morning. Would Paul Bunyan be a better lumberjack if he had a calculator? The jury's still out on that one. Still, one question eludes me. Where do calculators come from? And when were they born? And how? Let's get into it. There are as many theories about the calculator's origin as there are surgeries planned for the reconstruction of my larynx. One theory that's pervaded the internet since January 1998 was popularized on the site Cheezer.com by a user named Corey times 5010. Corey proposed that calculators were first discovered when tribes of warring monkeys smacked them with bones in the year 2001. Many experts still subscribe to this dark web notion, but it sounds like a load of piss and chips to old Terry. Bunked. Others claim they were invented by Chinese geniuses who moved to Iowa. I've never been to Iowa, but that sounds absolutely fabulous. Still, crackasses and jackpots all over the globe believe calculators came from aliens. But who are these mysterious creatures? And why are their heads so much bigger than their bodies? That simply doesn't compute. Bunked. The truth is, even the most complex calculations that calculators calculate can be calculated in the minds of the most mentally handicapped children ever born. Calculate this. If I shove your head up your ass, will it fit? Now I know what you're thinking. Terry, we really seem to have blood struck a nerve here.
Yeah, Terry, what have you got against calculators?
They come quite in handy in a pinch. I have to admit it's rather nice to have some numbers go clickety-clack. But with all these digits surrounding us, how are we even supposed to begin to calculate that? What's the point of using a calculator if you can just ask a total chuffer for the answers? My larynx is killing me, but let's take a step back. Calculate this. There is a child, an old lady, and your best mate on a sinking boat. You can only choose one to save. The granny is pretty chubby, your mate is skinny as a rail, and the child is rather ugly. The escape raft can only hold 10 stone. How might a calculator help in that dilemma? From personal experience, I can tell you this doesn't add up. But the only choice is to let them all die and throw your calculator into the sea, escaping comfortably into East Suffolk or West Suffolk. Well, now it's time for everybody's favorite segment, the icing on the cake. Let's get into it. The truth is, calculators are more than the sum of their parts. They do the dirty legwork so our brains don't have to. Their sleek design, combined with their complex capabilities, make them an invaluable tool to the human race. Since their inception, calculators have become a worldwide phenomenon spreading around the globe. Today, calculators can be found on nearly any device, from the iPad to the PC to the new super glasses, even inside the human brain. Calculators are punching the numbers left and right every day till the day I die. Put simply, we'd have fuck all without them. I'd be amiss if I didn't give them 10 out of 10. The crowd goes bing bang bonkers. And there goes another cold cut review. I hope we didn't push anyone's nublets. I sure had mine pressed to the wall. I want to throw a surprise party for the crew at Fudgebox. I'm just so thankful to work with these chaps. Unfortunately, with my medical situation, the party's cancelled. Please disregard the evites I sent you this Monday. Special thanks to Fudgeboxers Matthew and Ryan. To work with these brainy blokes has been the pleasure of a lifetime. You mates really squeeze the truth slop out of the fat turgid teat from our galaxy's greatest mysteries. If you enjoy our reviews, why don't you rub up on that subscribe button like it was a total slut? As always, I'm Terry Elffox, and that was another cold cut review. Now let's get out of it.